What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Eric, and it's my absolute pleasure to bring you the most powerful deck on MTG Arena. I've went to Mythic, and you can too with a deck like this. Alright, we're going to start off with the 1-drops here. Now, we're running some really powerful 1-drops with Charm Stray and Knight of the Ebon Legion. Now, I am going to say that Charm Stray is definitely the stronger of the two cards because all you have to do is draw a second Charm Stray to start really getting benefit off of this card. And the lifelink and +1/+1 counters are really going to matter. Heaven forbid you happen to draw all 4 of them, you're going to have a board state that is almost unstoppable. And that's the reason we're only running 2 copies of Knight of the Ebon Legion. Knight of the Ebon Legion is a good card, but it requires so much mana to really make it powerful. I didn't want to run too many copies of the card. As far as other 1/1 counters matters, we have Gird for Battle to allow us to put more 1/1 counters on some of our other creatures. We also have Unbreakable Formation, which could pull a little bit of double duty, but we're going to be tapping out most of the time, so we're really looking for that addendum and just putting those +1/+1 counters. We're not really worried about holding this up to protect on the opponent's turn. We also have a copy of Venerated Loxodon, which can put 1/1 counters across the entire board. And we have Grateful Apparition that when it hits a player or planeswalker, we're going to be able to proliferate and put even more +1/+1 counters on. So that's going to be our 1/1 counter package in this deck. The other little package in the deck is Knight of Grace mixed with Knight of Malice. I find that these two cards work really well together, and with Knights like this, you don't really need a Knight payoff. Even though we do have another Knight in the deck with Alindra the Dusk Rose, she fits more into the 1/1 counter package than anything else. Also, you'll notice that we don't have a lot of really expensive creatures in the deck, with only a couple Doom Whisperers to top off the higher converted mana cost of the deck. So we're only running 20 lands, and we really wanted to stretch that mana base and get as much value out of it as we could. So we're running 1 Memorial to Glory and 1 Memorial to Folly. We're also running full play sets of Godless Shrine along with Isolated Chapel and Temple of Silence. These are really powerful lands, and we had to run all 4 of them because it's a tier 1 deck, so we had to run all 4 of all 3. Moving on to our removal package, we have Take Vengeance. Now, this could have been something like Cast Down or some of the other cards, but those don't kill cards like Lyra. So we're running Take Vengeance, as this doesn't have that many restrictions, and the only thing we're really worried about are Vigilance creatures. And who's running Vigilance? We've also got Liliana's Triumph, and even though there's no Liliana's in the deck, the Triumph is going to allow us to cast at instant speed if we would like to, and make our opponents have to sacrifice a creature. It can get around hexproof if it's the only creature on the battlefield, and I find this to be really good. Now, as far as other cards in the deck, what deck would be worth its salt without a couple Planeswalkers? So we've got Teo the Shield Mage. Now this will give you hexproof and can put up some defenders, and this really does help against those red decks, but nowhere near as powerful as the Wanderer. This will prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to you and other permanents you control. So against those red decks, they don't really stand a chance. And because we don't want to have dead cards, she actually doubles as removal against those bigger creature decks. As far as the other cards in the deck, we needed to fill a little bit of space, so we're running Tithe Taker. Tithe Taker kind of puts a little bit of taxes on our opponent, and if they do happen to kill it, we don't really care because of the afterlife. And then, of course, you have to have some draw, so we have cards like Costly Plunder. This does require us to sacrifice a creature or an artifact, but we get to draw 2 cards in replacement of that. Great card. And this is going to finish up the main deck. As far as the sideboard goes, we're running the Tom Ross special here with Demystify. He called this the White Spell Pierce at one point, and it really is. There's a lot of enchantment cards out there that can really hate on your decks, and you're going to need a way to destroy those enchantments. Speaking of enchantments, we're running a few of our own here with Ixalan's Binding. This can hit anything, and who's not running 4-ofs? Most of the cards, so we might actually be able to stick some cards in their hand that they can't even cast thanks to Ixalan's Binding, and that's always really cool. As far as other enchantments, we also have Oath of Kaya. This will do a little bit of damage and gain us a little bit of life, and really helps out against those aggressive matchups. Now we want to be able to pull cards out of our opponent's hand against those control decks, so we're running some Kitesail Freebooters along with Davriel Rogue Shadow Mage. Now Davriel will, once we get our opponent's hellbent, he'll help us do a little bit of extra damage, but we're really just using him to help make our opponents run out of cards. As far as other cards in the deck, we've got a little bit of removal here with Disfigure. I find this to be a really powerful removal spell, but we only want it against those aggressive decks like Adanto Vanguard decks and things of that nature. Other cards in the sideboard are Settle the Wreckage, as this will allow us to completely wipe our opponent's board. They're going to be trying to swing into us because we're turning sideways. We're going to be leaving that door open. Let them swing into that, Settle the Wreckage, and just absolutely crush them. I hope you guys enjoy the games. My name's Eric, and we'll see you next time here on Sideboard MTG. You're still here? Holy crap, I thought you left as soon as you seen Take Vengeance. Okay, well, if you're still here, then you should probably know how it really went.